Basically, let me. So, good morning and good evening to everyone. As part of today's class, we are going to discuss about third party third party order process in SAP SD module. Third party order process. Some people call it as a TPO. So, third party order process or third party order processing in SAP SD module. So, actually, the basic concept behind SAP introducing this third-party order processing is uh, generally uh, most of the materials, most of the materials uh, we make the products and then we make the products and we deliver the product. Right? That's what we do in normal scenarios. So any material or any product, what we do, we manufacturers we manufacture the product and then we deliver the product to the customer. Am I correct? That is what it happens in general. So we manufacture the product and we deliver the product to the customer. But whereas when it comes to the third party order processing, what happens? So actually the material itself is not a third party material. Okay, the material itself is a third party material, but what happens, the material is a normal material, but whereas due to some other conditions, due to whenever there is an exception, we do not have the stock at that moment, we normally deliver from our end, but it is possible sometimes we don't have the stock, or we have some difficulties in getting the raw materials and make the product, right? So during that time, what happens, we will ask our vendor, we will ask the vendor who is a third party member, who is a vendor is not our company, right? He's a third party, he's a different party, right? So different party are outside people, what we call the different parties are different people, we call it a third party, right? Like vendors, we call it as a third party. Then what we do, we during the sales order process itself, what we do, we make that scenario as a third party scenario. So that means under normal conditions, under normal circumstances, the material is being produced and is being delivered by your company only. But in an exception, some exceptional cases, so when the customer places the order, you create a sales order, and instead of delivering from your side, from your company side, what we do, we ask the vendor to deliver the product from the vendor side. We ask the vendor to deliver the product from the vendor side. So that means the customer will contact you, but you will ask your vendor to deliver that product. That's why it's called as third party order process. So the delivery is taken care by the third party and the actual order taken care by you. I'm going to explain how it works. Okay. So let us say whether it is inquiry or quotation or whatever it is, but it starts with the sales order. Okay. We create a sales order. And when you create a sales order, so what will happen under normal conditions? What is the next step of the sales order? We create a delivery. So normal conditions after sales order, we create a delivery, right? We create outbound delivery and then we go do the goods issue and finally we do the billing. But what happens whenever you do not have the stock, whenever you are not able to deliver from your end, then what you do? So from the sales order, you deviate the process. From the sales order, you direct the system to go in a different way. So then what will happen? From the sales order, the system will create purchase requisition, and with reference to the purchase requisition, the system will create the purchase order. And when you create the purchase order, so you perform the goods receipt. So goods receipt means who will receive the goods? Do you receive the goods from the vendor? So basically vendor directly supply the goods to the customer. So you understood? From the sales order, you create a purchase requisition. From the purchase requisition, you create a purchase order. And from the purchase order, what you do? What the vendor do? Your vendor will send the goods. So to whom vendor will send the goods? The vendor will directly send the goods to your customer, right? So you create a sales order. Your customer is yours. So that's why the vendor will directly send the goods to your customer, and then he will send the invoice. So the vendor, and you need to pay to your vendor, right? You need to pay because the vendor is giving the goods to your customer. The vendor is giving the goods to your customer. That's why you need to pay to your vendor. And who will pay to your company? The customer will pay. The customer will pay the amount to your company. I repeat it. Sales order, with reference to the sales order, there is a purchase requisition and then purchase order. So basically purchasing part means what? If you are dealing with the customer, it's all related to the sales. If you are dealing with the vendor, it's also related to the purchasing or procurement. It's called a purchasing order. So purchase order and then purchase requisition, purchase order, goods receipt, and then the vendor will send the goods to your customer, and then vendor will send the invoice to you. You receive the invoice and you make the payment to the vendor. But whatever the money you paid to your vendor, you collect it from your customer who initially placed the order to your company. So this is how actually happens in the system, the third party order process. Everybody understand?
Yes, Venkat.
Okay. So in order to make this happen in the system, there are some configurations what we need to do. Let me do. First of all, what you need? You need an item category. So what is the item category and where it is available? What is the item category? What is that item category? Item category tells the system, or basically item category controls the behavior of the item during the sales order process. Okay, and that item category tells the system whether a particular item is relevant for the billing or not, relevant for the pricing or not, whether it is a normal item or third party item or text item or the free of charge item. So whatever it is, how does the system come to know? Based on the item category. Based on the item category in the sales order, system understand whether it is the text item, whether it is the free of charge item, whether it is the normal standard item, normal process item, or whether it is the consignment item, whether it is the third party order item. So now what we are discussing? We are discussing the third party process. So that means now we need to understand the item category which is related to the third party. Am I correct? Okay. So what is the standard item category?
And TAN.
TAN is the standard item category. What is the free of charge item category?
TANN.
TANN. Okay. In a similar way, what is the third party item? So how does the system know if it is a third party item? If the item category determined in the sales order for a item is TAS, if the item category determined for an item in the sales order, if that is the TAS, then system understand, oh, it is the third party item. I need to process that item in a different way. I need to change the behavior of the item into different way. So if the item category in the sales, if the item category in the sales order for an item is a TAN, what the system will do? System will create the delivery, system will create the billing, and the system will price that item. Right? That is what you do. If in case if the item category in the item of the sales order is a TAN, what the system will do? Will the system price the item? Will the system apply the price to the item? Vivek.
No, Venkat, if it is a free item, then it won't go for a pricing.
Even if you maintain the record, it will not take that because the item is not relevant for the price. Okay, and also it will not do any billing at all. So that means what it is doing when while doing the sales order itself, system is looking at what is the item category determined by the item in the sales order. So how the item category is determined generally? What are the elements determine the item category for an item in the sales order? There are 4 elements, but mainly 2, but two other things also there. Sales
I think one
document,
is the
sales
yes.
document type, item category group, and higher level item category and the usage. These are the 4 things. But mainly most of the times sales document type and item category group. So how does the system knows that what is the item category group? From the item category group where it is available from the item, from the material master, right? Material master of that item. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that's why, like, since you are using like third party item, so what item category has to? So how does the system knows that while creating the sales order, how does the system change the process? How does the system change the process? So generally, it is supposed to be order, delivery, billing, and invoice. But how can the system deviate the process? If the item category in the sales order for that item is a TAS, if the item category in the item category for the item in the sales order, it is determined TAS. If it is a TAS, if the item category in the item for the sales order is a TAS, then what the system will do? System will change the process. So system will, when you save the sales order, system will create the purchase order, and then you need to create the PO, and then you need to you need to perform the goods receipt which is accepted by the customer, and then you need to receive the invoice from the vendor, and finally you need to bill the customer. So this is how. So how does the system know that it has to go this way? Based on the item category. So if the item category for that item in the sales order is a TAS, then the system will follow all this process. You all understood that?
Yes, Venkat.
So now, so that's why you need to know what are the control parameters for this item. So let me go to the system. Vivo V7, right? Okay. So mainly what is there here? So let us see the billing relevance. So what is the billing relevance? So how you it is the order related billing. So what kind of billing it is? Why it is order related billing? Because you do not do the delivery, you do not do the outbound delivery, you do not do the goods issue, right? Goods issue. Do you do the goods issue for this item? Your vendor will do, right? Vivek, Tejo, your vendor will do. So that's why the billing for the third party item is always based on the sales order. That is order related billing. and status according to the invoice quantity. So that means whatever the quantity is available in the vendor invoice, whatever the quantity is available in the vendor invoice, that quantity will be paid by the customer to your company. Am I correct? Because you need to invoice based on the invoice quantity of the vendor, right? Whatever you make the payment to the vendor, or whatever the quantity delivered to your customer, that is what you need to bill the customer. Am I correct? So
Yes, that's right.
that's why you use. But others, what we use for normal item, what we use, we specify like delivery related billing. We specify A. Okay. So for the normal item, okay. If it is a free of charge item, what we specify, what control we specify, not relevant for the billing. So when you try to create the billing for any sales order which is having the free of charge item TANN, will the system allow to create a billing? Because you already controlled the item category, not relevant for the billing. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And pricing. So you price it normal, right? Because you are going to charge from the customer. That's why it is standing. Okay. And other than this, everything is normal. And if you go down, okay. So this is the one what you need to take care in the first moment, and then so go to the next point, next thing. Okay. So you need to take care of TAS, that is the third party item. So that is billing relevance, order related billing F, and billing relevance. Pricing is X, and so we don't use it actually, like you don't use that. And then the other item what we have to take into consideration, the schedule line category. Okay, what is the schedule line category? What it controls? What is the schedule line category? You all forgotten or what? Umera.
Venkat, it does availability check.
It specifies, basically it takes care of two main things. Whether the item in the transaction is relevant for the availability check or not, whether the requirements of that item should be transferred to the MRP. That is what they can. But other than that, there are few more items what it controls. So like you specify this and this, right? These two. And in the third party case, do we need to do we deliver the product to the customer? Then do you need to transfer the requirements? No, right?
No.
Do you deliver the product? No, right? Do you need to do the availability check? No. So that is the
No.
do we have this any check mark for this? No, right? We do not have any check mark. But what we have, so if you can look at here, the CS schedule line category, you see what you are telling. So you are asking the system to telling the purchase requisition type. So what I told you, whenever in the third party process, when you create a sales order, in the third party process, when you create a sales order, if the item category for the item in the sales order is TAS, what is your expectation? Your expectation is system should create a purchase requisition. Okay. So if you want to create a purchase requisition, then you need to tell the system what should be the document type for the purchase requisition, right? What should be the document type for the purchase requisition? So that's why you need to specify the order type, that means purchase requisition type, and also you can specify. So the account assignment category, actually it's from MM side. You just need to remember only this part. Okay, just item category like third party item, and then this document type, and you need to make sure these two should not be active for this item. other than this, like the other account assignment category, it's basically taken care by the customer. So basically, account assignment category means it tells the system from the MM side. Just wanted to for knowledge purpose. Account assignment category means sometimes when you are purchasing the products from the MM side, when you are buying the products, when you are purchasing the product, okay, for what purpose you buy? Sometimes you buy a product for the asset to keep it as a like asset, right? You keep it as a asset, like you are buying a mission. If you are buying a mission to manufacture something, so you need to create a purchase requisition and purchase order, right? So then what account assignment category you need to specify? You need to tell the system it is a asset, okay? Whereas sometimes if you are buying any like make it for investment, okay, for the investment purpose, like then you need to use like like it is a cost center. It's from like an MM side, you do not need that much knowledge, but just I am telling what is account assignment category, okay? So that's what you need to specify at the item category level, okay? And then so you need to specify that so okay, do we need to specify any movement type? If you go to the normal movement type, what is the normal movement types like we use? CP, right? The standard is CP. If you go here, what is this? So what is that 601? Actually, when you do the goods issue in SAP SD, when you issue the goods to the customer, what movement type is used by the system? 601, right? For example, not sure now. You remember if I are you doing the practice or not? Okay, let me. Okay, if you go to the goods issue, any goods issue, okay, what is the movement type system is used to issue the goods to the customer? What is the movement type?
601.
How the system is taking the 601 based on the schedule line category. For example, so this goods issue is related to this delivery and this is the order. If you go and look at this order, okay, what is the schedule line category in this order? Okay, CP. So what is the movement of CP for the CP specified 601? Okay, that means whatever the movement type you wanted to use, you want system use, you want system use to issue the goods to the customer, that is specified here. But here, are you doing the goods issue for the CS, that third party item? For third party item,
No,
are you doing are you doing any goods issue? No. Then do we need any movement
no.
type here? No, right? That's why it is blank. Okay. Okay. So and then like so if it is a regular third party item and you want to have CS TAS, if it is a regular third party item, you want always like determine TAS in the sales order for that item. Uh, like what are the elements determining? One more time, I already asked this question. What are the items to determine the item category for an item? Sales document type plus item category group. So where is the item category group? It comes from the material master of that item, material master. Okay, and then there are other two items as well, but right now just ignore that. Okay. So now, so if it is always third party item, you know that it is always third party item, and then what you need in the sales order, you need TAS should be, if it is always third party item, like you create a sales order and every time you wanted to get it delivered by the customer, then you need to make it automatic, right? If one time you can change in the sales order directly, but if that item is always delivered by the vendor, so you cannot change in the sales order every time, right? Hello.
Yeah, okay.
So then
Yes, Venkat.
like you need to have like let me show you.
TS.
So what is the standard item category group? NORM is for the standard item category. So if that item is always, the item is always delivered by the vendor,
Delivery.
then what should be the item category group we need to use in the item like material master?
VN.
BANS. Okay. So this should be this. So you need to use BANS if, for example, if this item is always procured by the vendor, is always delivered by the vendor to your customer, then the item category group of this item should be BANS. Okay, that is the one more thing. What should be used? Okay, and then so that is BANS here. So and then, so let me explain, how it works. So there are two ways we deal with this item. There are two ways we deal with this item. So go and create sales order VA01. Let me open existing sales order. Very old. Don't know whether it will work or not. Let me try reference. Order type RO. Okay, I took the wrong one. Let me go to the. What is the table for a sales order header?
PBK.
So did you ever try, any one of you try to get the data using the tables?
No, Venkat.
Start using tables and all.
The system doesn't, I mean, it is not accessing. I do not have access to the system.
Okay. Is everyone same case?
Yes, Venkat.
Maybe like it's almost 5-6 months, right? Access might have completed. So I need to get it one more time. Yeah, let me. Why I took the debit memo? I should have selected sales document type OR. So OR is the standard order, right?
Yes, Venkat.
So I thought you already started, like people are already started applying. Can anyone applying, trying for job? So Umair, have you started applying?
Not yet, Venkat.
Okay. So now I'm going to create an order with reference to this. So VA01. So OR 90 97 99 97 99. So with reference to this order. Two 417. Okay. So now, so what is the item category? TAN. So if it is a TAN, what will happen? The process will be order, delivery, goods issue, billing. But
Billing.
if you want, if you don't want that process, right? Then what you need to do? You have to, if this item is just sometimes once in a while, if it is a third party item, you manually change it. Okay, you manually change it. But whereas if that item is always third party item, then what you need to do? You need to make sure that TIS will be determined here. Am I correct? If it is
For that particular material type.
If this material is always always delivered by the third party vendor, always deliver, you create the order and deliver customer, it's delivered by the customer. If it is delivered by the customer, what will happen? So you need to make sure the TIS will be automatically coming, right?
Okay, Venkat. Okay, Venkat. Yeah, that's okay.
Otherwise, if it is just once in a while, once in a year, once in a 6 months, you cannot, it cannot be automatically determined here. Then what you can do, you can manually change it. Whenever you do not have the stock, whenever you have any trouble to deliver the product to the customer, you directly come to the sales order and change it. So coming to the sales order and change it is just easy. But if you want to automatically determine TAs for this item in the order, what you need to do? You have to tell. I'm not going to tell. You need to think and tell me what are all the things I need to do.
I think you need to configure that sales document type. I mean, basically that what do you call that?
What is the first thing I need to do? First thing,
The condition.
the first thing what I need to do? I need to maintain BANS as item category group in the item category group in where?
Material master.
Material master of that item, right? Material master. And then I need to configure the item category. I need to configure the item configuration of item category assignment. Item category and also item category. First, I need to configure that is the TAS. I need to configure, right? I need to have the TAS in place, and also I need to assign. I need to assign or I need to define item category. I need to assign. I need to configuration of item category assignment, right?
Account assignment.
So what is the assignment? So for example, if the sales order type is OR and then item category group is BANS, then what I need to tell the system? TAS.
That the TAS will be the item category for that.
TAS will be the item category for that item in the order. So this is what I need to configure. This is what I need to configure. And also, what else I need to do? So what is schedule and category? So what are the things will determine the schedule and category? How the schedule and category will determine? Item category of the sales order plus MRP type of the material, right? MRP type of the material. So these two things will determine. So then, for example, in this case, TAS is the item category, right? TAS is the item.
Yes.
And whatever the MRP type you want to use, like PD, and you can say the item category,
CS.
the schedule and category is CS. So these are the things you need to do in the background. Okay. Okay. So here for an item category group PNS. See, so what we specified here. So if my sales document type is OR and my item in the sales order item category group is BANS, what I'm telling? I'm telling the system determine the item category as the TAS. So if I do this, then it will come automatically here. Okay, if it is always procured third party item. If it is sometimes you don't need to do, it is not depend on it. You can directly change the way how I change it now. Okay.
Okay, Venkat.
And also, what else we need to do? We need to tell the system that is assign schedule and category. Okay. If my item category is DAS, okay, and so like this, because it is a third party item, actually the planning and all not really required. Okay, the planning and all not required. You can directly tell if my item category is TAS, to determine the schedule and category CS. You see, if I hit enter, material is not maintained by the purchasing because you know, like this, we randomly selected this material, right? So here, you know, like some part of involves. So when you go to that schedule and category after changing it, so then system automatically change. Let me show you this. For example, if I change it by TAN, double click, and I go to schedule and category. So what is the schedule and category now? CP.
CP.
But whenever I change it to TAS, and when I go and look at schedule and category, what it will be? It automatically
It will be CS.
So and then what will happen? And then system will create. So once you save this sales order with item categories TAS and schedule and category CS, then the system change the process like create the purchase order requisition in the background. Okay, purchase requisition, like based on whatever the quantity in the order, system will generate the purchase requisition. Okay, and then you convert that purchase requisition into, like, or with reference to the purchase requisition, you create the purchase order, and then the vendor will deliver the goods. Then you do the goods receipt. That means the vendor will directly send the goods to the customer, and after that you make the payment to the vendor, and finally whatever the quantity delivered by the vendor to your customer, you bill the invoice to customer. So this is the complete third party order process. So what I will do, I will share
So Michael, once you
please.
save this order, PR will get automatically created, right?
Okay.
Once you save this, PR will get created.
PR will automatically create. Correct. The PR will automatically create.
The creation of PO and then the GR, or then the PO is manually done.
Let me explain here. So it is how it happens. So when you create a sales order, so if you manually change it, or if it is automatically determined TAS, whatever the case, it should be the item category for the third party should be the TAS. Okay, it should be the TAS, and then once you save it and go to the schedule lines, you see the item, the schedule and category CS, and what is this?
Purchase order, purchase requisition.
Purchase requisition automatically created, because the configurations what you made in the schedule and category level, that will help the system to create. That's why you specified NB. What you specified NB, right? Why? Because you are telling the system create the purchase requisition with the document type NB, like OR, whatever the way we have, but the purchase inside that we have that. And then, so you take that number, take that PR, purchase requisition, and create the PO. Okay, so you need to convert the PO, right? You need to convert into the PO. Like basically, purchase requisition is a just request. It's not a real document to the vendor. But what is the actual document? Purchase order.
Purchase order is the real document.
That's why you need to create. So this is the purchase order you create with reference to your purchase requisition. And once you create this purchase order, okay, so you save it, and then so this is like the same thing, purchase order. Okay, and from the MM side, in order to do the goods receipt, in order to accept the goods receipt from the customer, the T code is MIGO or MIGO. MIGO or MIGO. Okay. So like in order to accept the goods from the vendor, we need to, like for example, to issue the goods to the customer, what we are doing? We are doing the delivery, and then from the delivery, we will do the goods issue, post goods issue. In the similar way, like goods receipt, GR. For that, we use this like MM. We don't do that, but MM people will do that. We use the MIGO and we perform the goods receipt. Okay, and once you perform the goods receipt and save it, and you need to pay the vendor, right? That is MIRO. MIRO or MIRO is the transaction code. Like for the invoice creation in SD, what we do? We use VF03, right? And whereas from the MM side, to make the payment to the vendor, they use MIRO. Okay, they use MIRO. So after that, MIRO, once it is done, then finally what you need to do? So you
need to send
the vendor, like your vendor delivered the goods, and you make the payment to the vendor. And what you need to do? You have to
send the bill invoice to the customer.
We have to send the invoice to the customer. So that is what we do. And finally, like this is all MM side. Okay. See, if you go to the VF01, and with reference to what you create the billing document for the purchase order, the third party.
Purchase requisition number and the purchase order.
No. That is what I told. The invoice.
Purchase order.
No. The customer invoice is created with what? Sales order, right?
Yeah. Okay.
For the vendor invoice, we go with the purchase requisition, purchase order, and this one. But for the customer,
Yeah.
we use like sales order. With reference to the this is sales order number. This is the sales order.
Okay.
So we create the invoice and get the money from the customer. So this is the complete output. Okay. And we have one more thing.
By the vendor to the customer, right? So we don't have to do any GR.
What is Tejo?
We don't have to do any GR because once we send the details to the vendor through the PO, the vendor will automatically ship it to the.
That is what I'm telling. So when the vendor delivers the goods to the customer, we need to have that reference in the system, right?
Yeah.
How do we know that if you do not create the goods receipt, how do we know that what quantity is delivered by the customer, what quantity is delivered by the vendor to the customer? How do we know that? We need to have a reference quantity, right? That is what the goods receipt we create. said.
All right.
That means we create a goods receipt document, but physically the goods are not received by your company. The goods are received by the
Okay.
by the customer.
The customer.
Customer. Okay. I will send this recording, and actually there are I think two more things we can discuss. One is the consignment, and other one is the rebates. Probably like Sunday or like one of the. Let me schedule it on Sunday morning. Okay.
Okay, Venkat.
Let me see. Okay, Sunday morning. Sunday morning 10 a.m. Okay, 10 a.m. EST. We will discuss rebates, and the final thing, like consignment. That's it, just presentation. I will explain because these kind of things were not regular items. What we do, like we just only like what I can say. Need to explain the process to like people. We don't need to really like it's very rare scenario. But rebates, we need to understand the configurations. Okay.
Okay, Venkat.
Thank you, and see you next class. Okay, take care.
Thanks, Venkat.
Thank you. Thank you all.